All right. We are live. I'm just going to check on my feed, share it a little bit. Share it a few more times. All right. We are live. And I'm going to kind of hang out for a few minutes and let a couple people join. This is going to be a good one, guys. I'm going to tell you what I've been working on. I'm going to tell you what I've been working through, because this is what I've been working on is not small. It's not small. It's not anything that it's not a small piece of the puzzle. It's a huge piece of the puzzle, and this is the thing that'll change the game for everybody. So I'm excited to share this. I often have, a couple times a year, we have workshops called Choose Your Destiny Live Intensives, and they are 2-day experiences, 2-day intensives, and I teach the creation process. And the hey, if you're thanks for everybody who's watching. There's a way, if you could put some comments, throw some comments into the system. Let me know your name. Let me know what platform you're watching on, and I'd love to form a connection with you, and I'd love to engage with you directly. All right. So just put your name in the comments. Let me know who you are and where you're watching. We're streaming on Facebook, on YouTube, and LinkedIn. So have live intensives, 2-day live intensives, and we had probably over the last couple years, we've probably had 6 of them, and they are powerful events, and it's also a really, really nice funnel into our mastermind, into the Inner Wealth Mastermind. Hey, Rachel, how are you? Glad to see you here. So for everybody else who's watching, go ahead and drop your name into the comments and let me know. I'll see where you're watching from, but throw your name in the comments. Let me know that you're watching. I'd like to talk to you guys. So anyway, 2-day live intensives, great workshops, powerful. A lot of the people in my mastermind came from and were introduced to us from the workshop. Hi, Diana. Great. I'm glad you're here. The 2-day live intensive is a funnel. It's a powerful container. I've said the same thing over every time I go and talk to somebody personally, though, then I start over. But I'm going to get going now. The Choose Your Destiny Live Intensive is a 2-day intense, powerful experience where I teach the creative process, the creation process. It's also a funnel into our mastermind, and it's something that really moves the needle on the planet, moves the needle in people's lives. Okay. If you haven't been to a 2-day Choose Your Destiny Live Intensive with me, we've held them here in St. Louis, but we've also held them in New Orleans. And wherever we host them, they're just great events. And in that session, I teach the creation process, 3 parts to the creation process. So in the past, what I used to teach, same concept, but what I used to teach is clarity, certainty, and commitment. Get super clear about what it is you want. Become super certain in your mind and your body that you can have it, because you can, which means let go of all worry, doubt, fear. Use the drill method. And if you've been following me, I introduced the drill method a couple weeks ago. Use the drill method to let go of all the fear, the worry, the anxiety, the doubt that what you want isn't available to you. You let go of all of this internal resistance that would say that you can't have what you want, or that it's not available, or you're not good enough. Let go of all that shit. And then finally, the last step is commitment. And what that means, how I used to frame it is take inspired action, be patient in the process, and then take delivery and take receipt when it shows up. Okay. That's the creation process. Guys, this works. This creation process works every single time when it's executed correctly. Clarity, get super mentally clear about what it is you want. Get super certain in your body, let go of all worry, doubt, fear, learn how to let that shit go instead of living as if they're true. And then commitment, remaining committed to the process, take an inspired action, be impatient, and take delivery when it shows up. Now, the creation process works, and I see it in my life working every single day, whether it's to create something you want or whether it's to create something you don't want. Everybody knows how to create exactly what they don't want. Very few know how to create what they do want. But there's one thing that's been coming up for me a lot that I'm gonna, in this next iteration, which on August 22nd and August 23rd, in the next iteration of the Choose Your Destiny Live Intensive, I'm gonna wrap these two concepts into everything that we do over 2 days. And these are two extremely powerful concepts that have, in no uncertain terms and not in a small way, completely caused stress and struggle in my own life. All right. Two concepts. Number one is this concept that it's better to give than receive. This concept that we are here to give. It's that leading with giving, over giving, over producing, trying to gain approval, always giving, the energy of creation, constantly pushing energy from us out into the world. That constantly just needing to be there for people, constantly needing to help people, constantly needing to give, and over give to our own detriment. I used to feel that was pretty normal. And that came out of and was born from this belief that I was taught and I lived in for a long time, that it's better to give than receive. Now, of course, there's going to be people who say, of course, it feels better to give than it does to receive. It feels good to receive. It feels good to give. And I'm going to tell you, after this second concept, I'm going to tell you why it feels better to give than receive. Okay? But just connect with that for now. If you identify as a giver and you tend to give more of yourself away and you receive very little in return, stick with this live, because we're going to unpack this and I'm going to help you understand why. Okay? But the first pain is giving without expectation of receiving or overgiving. Number two is, have you ever been given a compliment and immediately you start to shut the compliment down? Like you're having Rachel, you're having a nice hair day. No, hey Rachel, you look nice. Diana, you look nice. You really look beautiful today. No, there's this, and you start to push these things away. You start to push these niceties away. You start to shut it down. Or somebody tries to help you and you try to get them to stop. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Or somebody gives you a gift and you don't feel like you deserve it. Something shows up in your life and you feel like you haven't earned it. Has this ever happened to you guys? Put some comments. I'd love to, tell me who you are and where you're from, and start to put some comments if this stuff's connecting, if it's landing. Have you ever gotten kind of like this icky feeling from receiving or from wanting something for yourself? I remember working with a guy, and he was in the Inner Wealth Mastermind for a few years. And I think the first 6 months of working with him, I'd say, "What do you want?" He said, "I don't know what I want." But really what it was is he didn't feel comfortable wanting anything. He felt like guilty or shameful if he even wanted anything. And somebody gave me a thumbs up. So I connected with somebody. If you get this feeling of guilt or shame, or you want to shrink when you want something, or when you have to ask somebody for something, or somebody gives you help, then not only, like in number one, what I shared is you're an overgiver and you tend to give more than you receive. But number two is you struggle to receive in any way, shape, or form. And you may want more, but asking for more, or you may want more, but allowing more. expecting more just feels like, it just doesn't feel good. Does that connect with anyone? The people that I know that are huge, that have these huge hearts, these heart-based just powerhouses of givers in the world, tend to also struggle. Yeah, this is it, man. Michael, this is no more Mr. Nice Guy. The big ass heart-based servants that I connect with, that I'm surrounded by every day, huge givers, but struggle to receive. And we tend to give 100 and we receive 20. And this is, man, this is a super strugglicious place to be. And if that connected with anybody else, throw some comments. I want to see, but like, give me a comment with your hand up or something. Let me know if this is clicking and if this applies to you. Guys, those two things I've lived my entire life. Overgiving without the expectation of receiving. Overgiving and almost trying to pretend like I didn't want anything. Overgiving and overserving and overproducing and just giving so much away and then getting so little in return because it didn't feel good to ask or to want or to expect. I've lived my whole life this way up to this point. And when I talked about the creation process, getting super clear about what it is you want, getting certain that you can have anything you want, and certain letting go of all the worry, doubt, and fear that builds up in the mind and the body, and then moving into commitment, taking inspired action, being patient in the process, and taking delivery when it shows up. That simple creation process, which works every time when it's implemented and utilized effectively, it doesn't work when you overgive and you won't receive. When you overgive and you won't receive, when you don't lead with receptive energy, the creative process doesn't work. The creation process is built upon the foundation of receiving something for yourself. The creative process requires us to be in the energy of receptivity, the energy of receiving, the expectation of receiving, having no resistance to what we want showing up, having no resistance to people helping us, having no resistance to people helping and providing what we're asking for. If there's any resistance to receiving, the creative process isn't going to work. We must open up our mind and our bodies to leading with receiving. You were born, and that first inhale that you took as a baby, you were here to create more in your life. But if we feel like we can't receive it, then obviously it's not gonna fucking work. Rachel's on the line, and her Brian Schroeder, Rachel is Brian Schroeder's daughter. And one thing that when he comes to the workshop and when he's in town, I usually have him show up for day 2. And when he's in town, I asked him this question because he said this one time, and it really, I got a kick out of it. I thought it was funny. But I said, Brian, why did you start your business? And he said, to get rich. And I said, why did you hire your first employee? So they can make me rich. And Brian is the most loving, accepting, peaceful, compassionate, generous person you'll ever meet in your life. And he was super, super clear that he wanted to get rich, and he has. And when you're talking about overgiving and not being willing to receive, what that is it's sending mixed signals to the universe. It's sending mixed signals to life that you're not worthy of what you want. You haven't earned it. You haven't deserved it. You're not allowing it. You're putting resistance into the mix, into the process. And that resistance is a lack of allowing, a lack of receiving. And that will keep the creation process from working. People that are really, really rich and really, really successful, they are super clear about what they want. They want to be rich and they want to be wealthy or successful. And people that struggle, they send mixed messages. And I'll put myself in that category because of the overgiving and the under receiving. And that's an internal condition that those cannot be solved with more money and more success, more achievement, more accomplishment. Those must be solved inside of our body. We must manage those conditions, those states inside of our body. So what does that mean? If it feels better to give than it does to receive, it's because at some point in your life, maybe often, you were rewarded for giving and you were punished for receiving. You were cheered for giving and you were jeered for receiving. And it's created a nervous system that allows itself to feel good when you're giving and to feel icky and yucky and guilty and shameful when you're receiving. These are nervous system conditions. These are nervous system states. Hey, Thayer, what's up, brother? These are nervous system situations. This is internal conflicts that must be cleared. They must be managed separately. This is the reconditioning process or the process of reconditioning our nervous system to feel just as good, if not better, receiving than giving. But people say it just feels better to give than receive. That's because you were rewarded for giving and punished for asking, punished for receiving, punished for wanting. And it's built a nervous system that overgives and under receives. I hope this is making sense. If this is making sense, give me a thumbs up, drop a comment, let me know that you're here, let me know that what's clicking, what's not. Put comments or put questions in the comments. I want to engage with you guys. Michael, is this becoming clearer to you? Diana, is this connecting? I know this is connecting with Thayer. Rachel, are you still here? I talked about Brian, and you didn't comment. I figured I'd get a laughy face out of you. Jacob, is this connecting, brother? This overgiving, this overproducing, this overserving and under receiving, it's a sign that our nervous system is out of whack. When we feel like the value that we have in the world is what we give and what we provide, instead of who we are, this is going to create a nervous system that overgives and overdelivers and underreceives and underallows and underasks. Today, I was on a call with a guy, and we've tap danced about working together. And after, and the guy's very respectful and is super, super respectful and super awesome guy. And I just said, hey, he had a stack of problems that he was working through. I was like, I can help you solve these problems. I said, you just haven't given me permission. And he said, Mike, what do you mean I haven't given you permission? We jump on calls every once in a while. I'm like, I need permission to really help you. For you to commit to me, for me to commit to you. I need your permission. And that was like one of the first times that I ever really stepped into that receptivity state. Like, I know I've delivered for you. It's time for you to deliver for me. Over-delivering, under-asking, under-receiving is a sign that your nervous system is out of whack. We got to get that nervous system back into balance, into harmony, so that it feels equally good to receive than it does to give. Or it even feels better to receive than it does to give. But when you go into, let's say we're making cold calls, okay? You're in your wholesaling business and you're calling leads and you're cold calling people. When you get the energy that you get on the phone with, if it's not receptive, you don't need to get on the phone to see if you can close a deal. Get on the phone in the energy of receiving a deal. Receiving, be receptive. You can feel it in your body. Literally, you can feel it in your body when you are in the energy of receptivity. You can also feel it in your body when you are in the energy of creativity. And sometimes when I can see in my probably in my most struggle-icious times, where I create this awesome thing and I produce it in the world, and then I never shift into receptive energy to actually have it provide anything for me. It's like my energy stays in creative mode, and I go from creation to creation to creation to creation to creation, and I never shift my energy back into receptive mode to actually benefit from the work that I'm doing in the world. You guys relate with that? It's like only being comfortable in the energy of giving, in the energy of providing, in the energy of creating, and never falling back into the energy of receiving. Okay, I've created something magnificent. It's my turn to receive from this creation, from this work that I'm doing. And I can feel it in my body that sometimes when I feel like I try to get into the energy of receptivity, I feel my body resisting it, because that's the nervous system work that we get to do. Diana, I don't know what that comment means, but it looks like it's a breakthrough. Diana said, oh my goodness. So this is the work that I've been doing lately, the realization that I've been doing lately. I have overgiven, I have overstressed, I have overproduced, I have overworked, I have overdelivered, and the return that I've received on that work is very, very minimal compared to the work that I've done. And one of my favorite authors, his name is Stuart Wilde, and he said, ask the universe for a refund. And what does he mean by that? He says, how much work have you done in the world and not gotten any benefit? Like, get on your freaking in your manifestation mode and talk to the universe, talk to life, and say, hey, I've given a lot. It's my turn. Like, give me a refund on some of the work that I've done with no additional work. Like, come on, like, start the flow of energy back. But it's up to us to learn how to get into the receptivity mode. And that's an energy that's inside. It's not just about your hand receiving it. It's the energy. And since we live in an energetic universe, and since our aura speaks, and since our energy speaks, if all the only energy in your body, if it's all creative, if it's all giving, you're going to attract a lot of takers. And if your energy is receptive, then you're going to attract people willing to give. But we've got to be willing to shift our body into receptivity mode. I've got a new book coming out on August 19th. It's called Inner World, Outer World. And the very last full chapter, not the conclusion, but the last full chapter is called The Art of Allowing. And it's about this. But I've gotten more clarity since that book was completed. But if we don't, I think it's chapter 14 is the creation process, and chapter 15 is the art of allowing. But if we don't allow, the creation process will not work. Kelsey, I'm glad you're here. Kelsey's our bartender. She's like our number one bartender. She's awesome. She loves us. I love you. We love hanging out. Kelsey's amazing. Cybergs next to Mid Rivers Mall. Kelsey's always there, usually over the weekends. Kelsey's fantastic. Rachel, I can't wait for you to read the book too, and I'm glad you're still here. But for any of you guys that didn't hear, like, Brian Schroeder's his friend in the world. He's wealthy beyond belief. He's loving beyond belief. He's incredible. He's generous. He's wonderful. He's so peaceful. He's so amazing. He's the most successful person that I am connected with. And when I asked him a question, Brian, why did you start your business? He, without hesitation, he said, because I wanted to get rich. And why did you hire your first person? Because I wanted them to make me rich. Without hesitation. Rich and successful people know exactly what they want, and they surrender to it, and they allow it. And people that struggle financially with achievement send mixed messages. Do I deserve it? Have I earned it? Can I receive it? Is it available to me? Have I given enough? Is it okay for me to receive? Should I ask? These are all resistive states to the art of allowing and to allowing yourself to receive. And Kelsey, I'm with you. I get to learn this too. All right. I'm going to tell you one story before we separate, before I turn it down and we go on about our Fridays. Is a couple of years ago, I was a big tough Marine, right? And I was never going to get a massage, and I thought that was like for weak people. Anyway, I threw my back out, my lower back, and I could hardly walk. And this is probably 2018, 2019. Threw my back out. And my wife, bless her heart, she signed me up for a massage. And from that massage, it was like the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I freaking love massages now. I'm a huge fan of massages. And after that massage, I signed up for a 5-pack. So I was going to come back like every week for 5 weeks. And what I realized is the masseuse that I had, it was the same masseuse. She would do, I would be on my stomach, and she would do my back. Then she would do my left arm, then my right arm, then my right leg, and then my left leg. And then we flip over. And she did the same process every single time. And I started to understand, my pattern recognition skills are very high. So I recognized the pattern. And after about the second or third, or maybe third massage, I was starting to anticipate where she was going. And like, I would give her my arm before, when she was done with that last part of my left arm, I would give her my right arm. And then when she was done with my right arm, I would put my right arm down, and I would move my leg out. And what she said, she stopped and she said, "All right, Mike, listen, you're on my massage table. You are here to be served. You are not here to help me do my job. You are literally here. You're not here to make my job easier or my life easier. You are here for me to 100% serve you and take care of you. Stop helping me. Start receiving. Stop giving." And that was like a smack in the face. And that's what all this is about. At some point, we need, if we're over givers and under receivers, at some point we need to learn how to just receive without the need to give to justify the reception, the receptivity. All right, guys, put some comments. Is that like, give me some thumbs up, give me some comments, identify. Awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad it clicked in the minds and the hearts of folks. Listen, I'm going to put on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, I'm going to put the link to Danny. What's up? There you go. Jacob. I'm going to put the link to the next Choose Your Destiny Live Intensive. It's August 22nd, 23rd. I live in Orchard Farm, Missouri, in St. Charles County. It's 5 minutes away from my house in Newtown. If you're local, just get your ass to the workshop. I don't ask a lot for it. I don't make any money off the workshop. But hey, Gabe's been to the workshop. Jacob's been to the workshop. But we do recover our costs, and then it serves as an awesome funnel into our mastermind, because then you see the work that we're going to be doing. All right, Kelsey, you are amazing. Thank you. I love you, and I appreciate you. I'm going to put the link to the workshop. I'd love it if you guys connected with it. Diana, get there. All right. I'll work with you more. We'll unpack this stuff. I'd love it if you guys showed up and sat in this room, this energetic container that I create, and let me pour into you and let me freaking light your soul on fire, and you will not leave the same person. All right. Thanks for joining. Check out the link, check out the connection, and get your ass in that room, and have an exceptional weekend.